Good evening and welcome. Today is February 17th, 2026. It is 5 p.m. and we are in the Bosch-Freilich meeting room in Mandan City Hall. Mr. Neubauer, could you please take the roll?
Commissioners Heinchan.
Here.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Here.
Schoberg.
Here.
Mayor Freilich.
Here. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remove all headgear.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to announcements. Project updates. Riley?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'll be your fill-in for tonight. So project updates for this week. We updated our project website, just have everything under just a projects page. We had it split up between infrastructure and road projects. And that was kind of confusing for some people, so we wanted to clarify it a little bit and just kind of make a note that if you're looking for any projects, it's at citymandan.com/projects, and all the projects are in there. So if you need information on there, should be good to go for that. I'll shout out Carrie and Ashley for helping with that, and it looks really good now.
Can you click on one of those?
No, this is just a picture. I can go to the website if you'd like.
No, that's fine. Keep going.
Collins Avenue, we have a short video. The old reservoir is completely demolished for the most part. I know they're going to start on the retaining wall work here pretty soon. They just approved shop drawings for the retaining wall work, so that'll get kicked off here, and this project will be wrapped up soon. So looking forward to that. Area 2B, or SID 242 as it's commonly known. There'll be a public meeting for this project tomorrow at Roosevelt Elementary at 6 p.m. We're hoping for a good turnout again. We had a good turnout the last one. We'll answer some questions that we've gotten, some frequently asked questions, and we'll be ready. Mandan proper, there was the open house for all 4 phases recently. We're now kind of narrowing the scope down to phase 1, and we'll do our first public meeting for that just phase 1 project on February 24th at 6 p.m. at First Lutheran Church. That's the same spot we had the open house at a couple weeks ago. Any questions?
Nope. That it? Thank you, Riley. We will move on to public comments. Mr. Neubauer?
Mayor Freilich, Dan Helbling is here. I don't know if he wants to make some comments on the styrofoam on the high school demolition site. If you want to step up to the mic.
Yeah, the last week or two I've been noticing that all the styrofoam coming from the demolition at the high school, and it's just littering up the yards, the streets, probably getting into the storm sewers, and nothing has been done about it until lately this year, or this week. I finally got a hold of the school administrator that was supposed to be in charge of the project, because the city didn't seem to know anything. They told me they'd talk to the guy, and then the same day I talked with him, I called the North Dakota Environmental Quality office, and one of those guys stopped over there. Now it seems like they're starting to do something with it, but today with the wind, the black paper that they put down that's supposed to protect the styrofoam from blowing out underneath the chain link fence is not doing the job. It's blowing all over and the styrofoam's blowing out again. Plus the chain link fence, the small pieces of the styrofoam went right to the chain link fence and into the yards again and onto the streets, which eventually was going into the yards. And they also put up some kind of a chicken wire type to cover up some of the chain link more, which is fine. Hopefully that'll work. But today they were supposed to be, or before today, they were supposed to be trying to get a fire hydrant opened up so they could water down the dust in that area. Today I drove by and I noticed it was still dusty from the work and no fire hydrants seemed to be hooked up. So I was just wondering if something more can be done, or my neighbor lady, she was out blowing some of the styrofoam on the street, and the police pulled up and was going to give her a citation for what, I don't know, but they never said anything about a citation to the demolition crew that's littering our yards. But if I can get an answer from somebody that what they're going to do, and if they're going to keep doing what they're doing now, or if someone can talk to them and say that that's not doing the trick.
Okay, lot to unpack here, a lot of people involved. So the city's been on it since Mrs. Geis was kind enough to call me and express her concerns. So we got on that right away. It is a school district project. So we got in touch with the school district, and they started to urge the construction or demolition company to mitigate the foam, right, from blowing around. We have been in contact several times with them. The Public Works, Mr. O'Keefe, did we send the street sweepers up to make sure it didn't get into the stormwater? So we've been on this. Now I don't know about the hydrant. Chief Bitts?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. As far as a hydrant, I would assume that was a request for like a temporary dust suppression measures like that, and that would be in coordination with Public Works Director Shane O'Keefe. I think he's up here. He can maybe speak a little bit better to that issue.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, Commissioners, yeah, we made one available. Steve Hoosier said he was calling down. He never came and picked one up, though. We did street sweep last Thursday, like you said, and then he told us the other remediations with the geotextile on the fence and a couple other things they've been doing, and they brought in a truck sweeper as well.
Okay, so have they been, Mr. Neubauer, you might know this, have they been out in the neighborhood cleaning the yards?
Last week, there was one guy with a backpack blower trying to blow out some of it, but he was missing a lot, and of course with the ice, he's got to wait for some of the to melt. Blowing it into the alley and then picking it up from the alley.
Well,
It's just not a very good job.
okay, thank you for appearing tonight. And I can assure you that the city is going to stay on this and make sure that the contractor cleans up the mess. And you're right, with this wind, I was under the understanding that they were going to wet it so it would freeze on top of the foam. That's already on the ground, so it wouldn't blow, but we'll see. They're going to be responsible for it.
Well, if there was some kind of a way that they could alert the residents too, as to what's going on to keep us up to date. You know, so far there's been no contact with us. We're the ones that had to get a hold of the city or the city administrator or even.
Well, it would be the school district. And so we'll stay in touch with the school district. It's their project.
So then they'll get a hold of us and keep us informed. I know the one administrator said that he didn't know how they would even go about doing that. I thought, well, we get water bills every month. They always got a little newsletter in there.
I think, and I'll let Mr. Neubauer speak, but this kind of caught everybody off guard. I don't think anybody thought, oh yeah, the building's covered in foam until it started blowing around. But Mr. Neubauer?
Mayor Froelich and Commissioners, we can certainly have those communications with the Mandan School Superintendent and those folks and have them do what they can to communicate with the residents. My understanding was they have been around several times in the neighborhood picking up pieces of styrofoam. And like Shane O'Keefe said, we did run street sweepers up there last week to clean up that debris that was in the gutter lines. And we
They
can
didn't
do that
take care of all
until,
the streets, though.
right, we can do that until the weather changes like it will soon, and then we can't obviously put water down and create an ice rink. But we will certainly be in communication with the school and let them know of your thoughts.
That's understood. Well, but if there's a way to get the residents to know more and to keep them updated, I'd appreciate it, and I'm sure the rest of the neighbors would.
Yep, we will, actually, school district comes in a few hours tonight, and we will have that conversation with them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Okay, if not, we will move to item number E, approval of agenda.
I move to approve the agenda for the February 17th, 2026 meeting, City Commission meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rohr, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion regarding the agenda? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to item F, minutes. Consider approval of the February 3rd, 2026 Board of City Commission meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the February 3rd, 2026 Board of City Commission meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yep.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 2, consider approval of the February 3rd, 2026 State of the City's quorum minutes.
Make a motion to approve the State of the City's quorum minutes from February 3rd.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 3, consider approval of the February 10th, 2026 North Dakota Department of Transportation Memorial Highway Phase 1 Business Owner Update Meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve the February 10th, 2026 North Dakota Department of Transportation's Memorial Highway Phase 1 Business Owner Update Meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Heinchan.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item G, public hearing. There are none. We have no bids. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Are there any items you would like removed from the consent agenda? If not, I would look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Heinchan.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to old business. Consider approval of the inmate housing agreement with Burley Morton Detention Center. Chief Ziegler.
Mr. Mayor and Commission, back in December, we approved the original with a caveat that we have line 16 or section 16 of the inmate housing relooked at when it talks about medical services and what's the responsibility of the city. Sheriff Lieben and his staff did a rewrite, sent it over to us with Attorney Oster, Jim, myself, and Commissioner Schoberg and Commissioner Rohr looking at it. We came to an agreement that what we have is sufficient, and I'm bringing it back to the commission with the change of the language in the inmate housing agreement for Burley Morton Jail.
Any questions for Chief Ziegler?
Mayor Chief, this is a year-to-year agreement? Is that correct?
It is, it self-renews unless there's a change. So if there's no changes in the agreement, then it self-renews from year to year. So some of the changes that do pop up periodically is the cost of inmate housing goes up, and then that's usually when I have to bring it back in front of the commission.
Thank you.
Mayor and fellow commissioners, I'd just like to take a moment to thank Police Chief Ziegler, City Attorney Amy Oster, City Administrator Jim Neubauer, Sheriff Kelly Lieben, Major Trent Wangen, both of the Burley County Sheriff's Office, and Burley County Assistant State's Attorney Julie Lawyer, for their work in helping with this item 16 on the contract. We were able to successfully streamline the language of that a bit and, in my most humble opinion, make it more practical and workable for everybody involved. So thank you.
Any other questions for Chief Ziegler?
I move to approve the updated inmate housing agreement with Burley Morton Detention Center.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rohr, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We will move on to new business. Consider an application for a build grant for Mandan proper. Riley?
Good evening, Mayor Commissioners. I have a short presentation for you tonight. Just kind of some history on build grants. So BUILD stands for Better Utilizing Infrastructure, can't talk this morning. BUILD stands for Better Utilizing Investments to Leverage Development. So this is a grant program through the U.S. DOT. It allows the federal government to participate in surface transportation benefits. And this isn't the first time the U.S. DOT has had a program like this. Previously, last year, we applied for a RAISE grant for Mandan proper, and then Tiger was a similar program. So BUILD is a grant program that's funded through the bipartisan infrastructure law. It provides roughly $1.5 billion annually for the years 22 through 26. So this will be the last year of, as we know it today, BUILD grant. BUILD grants are awarded on a competitive basis, meaning we compete with everyone from the rest of the 50 states. The maximum grant award is $25 million, and 5% of all, 5% of the funds, $75 million per year, must be allocated to planning projects. So some objectives are BUILD are very similar to RAISE, improving safety, environmental sustainability, quality of life, mobility, everything you want out of a road project is kind of what BUILD is looking for. So it really wants to have projects that have significant local and regional impact to your network and to your community. So what projects have we kind of identified this year? Everyone's favorite, Mandan proper. And then another project we'd like to apply for this year is the Mackenzie Drive Extension Planning Project. And I'll kind of dive more into each of these projects here. Mandan proper key project elements, cast iron watermain replacement, street reconstruction, AD compliant paths, mobility hub, complete streets. This is really a neighborhood revitalization project. So why Mandan proper? It has very significant environmental impacts due to water lines, storm sewer improvements, sanitary sewer spot repairs. Public Works spends a lot of maintenance dollars annually to repair water main breaks in this area, as well as patch the failing roadways. Also, there's a significantly high cost to residents when you compare special assessments in Mandan proper specifically to any other area in town, just because it is kind of that everything needs to be done area. And it is more competitive than other neighborhood projects for a few reasons. So the total cost of Mandan proper is roughly $35 million. We will be applying for a BUILD grant of the maximum award, which is $25 million, leaving roughly $9.2 million to be participated in the city in some way. Ways we could fund that would be using MIF funds, using the utility fund, special assessments, and then, as previously approved on the consent agenda, the Department of Water Resources grant. Now switching gears a little bit and going to the Mackenzie Drive Extension project. One big aspect of this that we've talked about is studying the impact. We don't know what the economic and regional impact of having this connection would be, whether it be positive or negative. We feel it'll be positive, but we want to make sure we're covering all our bases and really understand the project prior to construction, which would be a much larger investment than the planning project. We want to make sure we're future planning and thinking about what we're going to need to do to existing intersections to handle the new traffic load, as well as think about future development to the west. So why Mackenzie Drive? It's an important connection to be made. There would be a large separation of freight and passenger traffic, taking a lot of that freight traffic off of 3rd Street and Memorial Highway, allowing more pedestrian and passenger vehicles to feel a little safer. There'd be a massive reduction in vehicle miles traveled daily of roughly 20 to 30,000. And there's large travel time cost savings of having this connection there. Also would help with emergency response times. The cost, it's a planning grant, so it's a rural planning grant since we are classified as a rural community, so there is no local cost share required, so we'd be applying for full 100% funding. Estimated cost of this time is roughly $5 million at the top end. We're working with more to kind of refine that cost to get an accurate number. It might go down, but it won't be more than $5 million. Questions?
Questions for Riley?
Mayor, I just think, we live at a critical time where these projects get more costly, and unfortunately, in the downtown areas, those residents probably in the least affordable position to be able to pay high assessments and stuff like that. So the fact that we can seek other source of funding, especially grants, just as that's going to be critical to this, but it's something that's going to have to be done. And I think you people have been working very diligently at trying to establish sources and make good plans to get this. And I just hope it's nothing that goes too far in the future, that we can get this addressed before too long.
Mm-hmm. These grants have to have funds expended by 2034, I believe, is the last year. So within that, I know it's a long time frame, but we feel strongly that we would complete this project by then.
Like I said, the sooner the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Riley, I'd like to echo what Commissioner Rohr said too. We've all seen a 20-year history for Memorial Highway, and the cost of that jumped exponentially for multiple of reasons. So getting started on the bridge over the Hart River at this point in time, kudos to you and your team for doing that, and your foresight and interest in helping our citizens reduce the impact to their properties and special assessments. So thank you.
One question on the build grant.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's clear. Not every street rehab project we do in Mandan qualifies for this build grant. It's a narrow scope, correct?
Yep. So one of the main things about it is kind of going back to the department's, the USDOT's strategic goals of the improving safety, environmental sustainability, quality of life, mobility, connectivity, all those things that are on the screen there. Mandan proper is uniquely positioned in the fact that it has some disadvantaged community indicators, which make it a higher eligibility project than other areas of Mandan, as well as the connection to an economic hub of Main Street, allowing those disadvantaged communities to have resources like jobs and medical facilities along that corridor make it a really strong project.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Riley? Okay. If not, I would entertain a motion on Mandan proper.
I move to authorize the engineering department to submit the grant application and allocate the funds as presented should the grant be awarded.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Heinchan, a second by Commissioner Brown. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. McKinsey Drive extension.
I move to authorize the engineering department to submit a build grant application for a Hart River Bridge study.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Brown, second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Heinchan,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We will move on to resolution and ordinances. Item number 1. Consider the bond resolution for $4,491,000 water revenue bond, Series 2026, and this is in regards to the lead service line replacement project. Greg?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. As you recall, last September, the City Commission approved a resolution authorizing the filing of an application with the North Dakota Department of Environmental Quality for a loan under the Safe Drinking Water Act for the lead service line replacement project. And then shortly after that, in October of last year, the North Dakota Industrial Commission approved a $4,491,000 loan requested by the city of Mandan. The way the funding works with this project is that under the bipartisan infrastructure law, the federal bill says that states receiving additional funding for lead service line replacement through their drinking water state revolving fund loan programs, a portion of these federal funds must be used as subsidies like loan forgiveness. So therefore, the city of Mandan will have 2/3 of this loan forgiven by the state of North Dakota because they have received additional federal funding for lead service line replacements through the federal legislation. So that loan forgiveness will amount to about $3 million. So even though that the loan is for $4,491,000, the city will only be obligated to repay about a third of that loan, or approximately $1.5 million. It is a 20-year loan. The principal repayments will not start until 2031, until the project is complete. What is nice about this particular loan is normally the SRF loans will have an interest rate of 1.5%. The interest rate on this loan is 0. And I think that's part of the federal subsidy buy down. The state will still have their 0.5% admin fee. The loan will mature September 1 of 2050, and the city's share of that loan will be paid directly out of the water and sewer utility fund. And the city, of course, is only obligated for the loan draw requests of this case. Because of the loan forgiveness, city will only have 34% responsibility of the entire loan. The bond resolution was prepared by Bond Council and is before you for your consideration and approval. And I will stand for any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Greg?
Mayor Greg, to understand the scope and objectives here, this is strictly for line service replacement, right, for the lead pipes out there, correctly?
That is my understanding.
Yeah. Now, has the city pretty much mapped, I know they've been doing the research, are the lead areas pretty much platted out or identified at this point in time until we have a good scope of the city where all this replacement has to be?
Mayor Freilich, Commissioner Rohr, I will yield to City Engineering or Public Works to address that question.
Mayor, Commissioner Rohr, we have mapped out most of them. There are still some unknown ones, and we are trying to track down the unknown ones, and by sending out letters and staying in communication with those people who are unknowns.
Okay. The other question I have, then you can rise here, Riley, is then we're only talking about lead piping and lead that's in the city right-of-ways, not on private property to the houses, or how far does this go?
It'll be the service line into the home, so it'll go from main to the house.
The house?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know if it was all the way to the house within that area or just out in the Sidewalk Street area.
Nope, it'll be all the way.
Okay, well, it'll be quite a project, I know that.
I don't know the exact number, but we have to do a certain percentage each year. So.
Riley, when were lead pipes outlawed?
I do not know that answer, but maybe Jordan Singer knows the answer. Late 70s.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
I move to approve the bond resolution for $4,491,000 for the Water Revenue Bond Series 2026, which is a lead service line replacement project.
A motion by Commissioner Rohr, a second by Commissioner Heinchan. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Heinchan,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Is there any other business before the commission? No? So the future meeting dates for the Board of City Commissions are as follows. Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, Mr. O'Keefe, at 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, at 5:30 p.m. And to be followed by a Board of Equalization meeting at 7 p.m. And at this time, enjoy your Mardi Gras. Lent starts tomorrow. Be kind to yourself, be kind to your neighbor, and it's onward and upward, Mandan. Meeting is adjourned.